Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
So your Chevrolet's check engine light popped on, you plugged in the scanner, and it spit out the code P0303. Okay, first things first, don't panic. This is a super common code. And in this quick explainer, we're going to break down exactly what your car is trying to tell you and how you can get it fixed. Ah yes, the dreaded check engine light. It's that universal symbol for, well, my day just got a little more complicated. It has a special way of turning a perfectly good drive into a little bit of a nail-biter, doesn't it?
But hey, you did the right thing. You grabbed a scanner, plugged it in, and you got this code, P0303. Now that's not just a random jumble of letters and numbers. It's actually a very specific message coming directly from your car's main computer.
And before your mind starts racing to worst-case scenarios and imagining huge repair bills, just take a breath. Seriously, this is one of the most frequent codes a car can show, and more often than not, it points to a fix that is surprisingly simple. We're going to walk through it.
Okay, so let's get into what your car is actually saying. Think of it like a secret code. The P tells us the problem is in the powertrain, so the engine or transmission. The 03 part means it's an engine misfire, and that last 3, that's the real clue. It's telling us the problem is in cylinder number 3. So the heart of the problem is this thing called an engine misfire. It sounds dramatic, but all it really means is that in cylinder number 3, that little controlled explosion that's supposed to happen, the one that powers your car, isn't happening correctly. That perfect mix of fuel and air isn't getting the spark it needs at just the right time. You know, a good way to think about it is like a team of rowers in a boat. If you have, say, a 6-cylinder engine, you have 6 rowers. If one of them suddenly stops rowing, the whole boat gets jerky, inefficient, and loses power. That's pretty much exactly what's going on under your hood.
All right, so we know cylinder number 3 is our problem child here. But why? Why is it misfiring? Well, let's put on our detective hats and go through the list of the most common culprits.
Now, look at this list. It might seem like a lot, but here's the key. Pay attention to the ones at the very top. I'm talking about a faulty spark plug or a bad ignition coil. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, your problem is going to be one of those 2 things. They're by far the most likely suspects. This code isn't just a light on your dash. It's something you can probably feel when you're driving. So let's connect the dots between this technical code and what you're actually experiencing from the driver's seat. This chart breaks it down perfectly. That shaky, vibrating feeling when you're stopped at a light, that's the rough idle, and it's because your engine is literally off balance. Have you been going to the gas station more often? Well, that's because your engine is guzzling fuel trying to make up for the dead cylinder. And that little stutter or hesitation when you step on the gas, yep, that's the misfire interrupting the power delivery.
And out of all of those, the classic #1 sign is that rough idle. If your car just feels kind of shivery or rough when it's not moving, that is the biggest clue that you're on the right track with the misfire issue.
Okay, so we've cracked the code, we've identified the symptoms. Now for the most important part. What do you do about it? Let's lay out an actionable plan to get this sorted out. Here's the strategy, and it's super important. Start with the simplest, cheapest fix first. Do not jump to the complicated stuff. The first thing you or your mechanic should do is check the spark plug and the ignition coil specifically for cylinder number 3. So often, just replacing one of those small parts makes the code go away. If, and only if, that doesn't solve it, then you start looking into things like fuel injectors or vacuum leaks.
And if there's one thing to take away from all this, let it be this thought right here. This is not some bizarre, catastrophic engine failure. It is an extremely common issue, and the path to fixing it is usually pretty straightforward with some basic troubleshooting.
So there you have it. The mystery of P0303 is officially solved. You know it's a misfire in cylinder 3, you know the most likely culprits, and you've got a game plan. So the power is back in your hands. Now the question is, what's your next move? Are you going to grab some tools and pop the hood, or are you going to call your mechanic armed with all this knowledge? The choice is all yours.